So a twig broke or something, and that little bear jumped off that bait and was 10 feet up in the tree in a matter of 1 second. I mean, it just did, and it was up, and if I picture Mason trying to get himself up that tree, it wouldn't be a pretty sight. So that fucking bear is strong.
Oh, yeah, and those bears are skittish because those boars will come and kill them.
Welcome to the Shoot to Hunt podcast with your host, Ryan Avery, a registered Democrat who loves the 6'5" Creedmoor, and the Jacob O'Shaney, his beard is made of the gypsy pubes. But together, they make the number 4 podcast in all of the US and they a great success. It is a nice.
I guess it's not so funny anymore because I had you fucking order me a 6'5" Creedmoor.
That's a good fucking point. So Ryan Avery sends a text yesterday. Order me a Seiko 6'5" Creedmoor.
Yeah, S20. I want to shoot production in the NRL Hunter, so it's the easiest way.
All right. And then I just ordered a 6'5" Creed Tikka for him to take to shooting school.
Yeah, we're full on. It's got a few more days of Pride Month to get them. We got that order in.
Yeah, so the recording makes sense now.
Yeah.
It should have said Ryan Avery and Mason Machine. He loved the 6'5" Creedmoor.
Yep. Person giggling.
Yeah. Yep. If you hear that girly voice, that's my boy Mason.
He's close. Yeah. He's close to that voice cracking. He's almost there.
13 years old. Actually, so you turned 14 in November?
Yeah. End of November.
Okay. So that makes you 13 and a half.
Well, over a half.
Okay. Is it like 0.6?
0.62.
Isn't that funny how every kid just wants to grow up as fast as possible? And then you become grown up. You're like, fuck, I wish I was a kid again.
Oh, dude. I was like, I'm 46. I'm like, how am I 46?
Yeah.
To me, I think I'm 30, but I'm not.
I remember when Mason was a normal sized human, right when he popped out. And then from there, it was like double the growth rate.
For like 6 months.
It's like a 200 and, would you just weigh in at 230?
Yeah, a little less right there.
Oh, it might have been 229. 229.6.
Yeah.
229 pound 13-year-old.
All those D1 schools better listen up.
Matter of fact, what weight are you trying to hit? Did you say?
I'm glad you asked.
Yeah,
because I weighed in this morning. I'm still on my goal to do 180 by September 1st. So I better get on it.
Yeah.
But I weighed in this morning at a salty 214.
Oh shit!
So I gotta lose, what is that, 34 pounds?
Mace has 15 pounds on you right now.
Wait, I thought at one time you were like 240.
Yeah, before we started going to the gym.
And then now you've been going to the gym pretty much every morning.
Yeah.
Cut out the sugar.
Yeah.
And now you're a salty 230.
Yeah.
What's the goal? Just to be stronger, or is there a weight
just
to get to?
Get stronger.
Confidence. He cut out the sugar, but he increased the chip count.
Bulking with chips
by the bags.
Are you on a protein like regimen though?
No. Well, I try to have as much protein as possible.
It's the protein thing's a funny thing because some people say it's bad, some people say it's good, some people say that you need certain grams per pound, and it's interesting science. What does your dad have you on?
Well, they say when you're trying to bulk, you want to have the same grams of protein as pounds, but then some people like to do half the amount.
But is that, I always wonder, is that of the body weight you want to be, or the body weight you're at? There's
so many different things to go off of.
Yeah, I'm not a nutritionist, don't pretend to be, but I always hear that like argument. And
we do a scoop of pre-workout. Here's the process. So we wake up at 4:30. My alarm goes off and I wake up like normal. Mason's alarm goes off 4 times and he doesn't wake up. So then I wake up and go wake him up. And last time I just woke him up, the alarm is going off and the phone is laying on his chest and he's knocked the fuck out, just snoring away. And he had already reset it like 3 fucking times, right? So I go in and I smack him around to get him up. And then he gets up. And I don't know how he does it, but within 10 seconds, he's fully dressed out in the kitchen. I hear shit rumbling around. It takes me like 30 minutes to fucking just open my eyeballs.
Me too.
Yeah, so he's out 10 seconds out there, and he puts a scoop of pre-workout. So every time I get done getting ready, I walk out and says, "Where's my scoop?" And I go chug the fucking scoop of pre-workout. Then we go work out for an hour. We come back, and then he mixes 3 scoops of protein for each of us in the shaker bottle, and I drink that in the shower, and
you're out of there.
That's the process.
How does that? Because I remember my son, like, I'd wake him up, and then 3 seconds later, he's up and at it.
Yeah.
You like sleep in your clothes or what? Yeah, like you guys have I don't know, maybe it's the older you get, the more your mind needs time to wake up.
Yeah.
Because I remember Lane, like, I'd be like, all right, we're going hunting, and he had an event, and fuck, dude, he was ready to go in like 3 seconds. I'd be bitching at him, we got to go in 5 minutes, and then 1 minute later, he's out there.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, why are you here?
Because I shot bears at bear camp.
That's right. We're talking about the Rokslide Bear Camp. It's a annual event. I believe we started in 2015, give or take a year. It was 6 of us to start.
Who was the 6?
The 6 to start was me, of course, Kelly, my good friend Kelly Broker, Justin Crosley, Casey Harbison from Mountain Ops, Jeff Brozovich from Long Range Only, and Billy George.
So what happened? What happened to the 4th and 5th guys there?
Casey, well, Casey's Mountain Ops. They pretty much sold Mountain Ops and got out of it and haven't been hunting since. So I don't know what happened to them. They did put out some good videos for us, but I haven't associated with them, so I don't know what they're doing.
You don't stay in touch with that guy?
No.
Huh.
Jeff is, he's got a force field around him. Bears hate him.
Oh.
So Jeff is the most unluckiest guy I've ever met bear hunting.
Okay.
He spent, I don't know, it was like 30 days 2 years ago, him and Ryan Furman, and I think they saw like 1 bear sighting. And it's odd to me that you guys have been up there 2 years, and
3. That was the third year this year.
There's always bears.
Yeah.
So they just bad luck, I'm guessing.
Interesting.
But it's
I saw him that first year that me and Mace came up. I saw him very briefly.
Yeah. And he spent, I mean, they did their due diligence. It's just bad luck. And sometimes it goes that way. I don't have that kind of bad luck. I see lots of bears. I passed up 9 bears this year, but just nothing that was, as you started calling me, the bear watcher.
that is your fucking new nickname for now. Because he comes back, he went bear hunting again with Tanya. He comes back with a video of bears humping on the screen, and one of the bears to me is a shooter, and not for Ryan though.
No, she's like a 5-foot sow. It's just their work either way. I want to shoot what I want to shoot.
Yeah.
Shot a lot of bears. I got a lot of rugs. I'm actually full sizing that bear from last year, the red bear.
Well, fuck, it was worth it.
Yeah, so that's the biggest bear that I've ever shot. So there's only so much room in bear rugs, as you can see hanging on your wall from you guys. Bears take a lot of room. And I already got a stack of the hides. So it's like,
yeah.
And, another thing, I probably would have shot a bear, but everybody gave me their bear meat. I love bear meat. And everybody gave me their bear meat when they left.
Oh, shit.
So, and we got to figure out a way to send Derek some. Derek, the Peterson guy, gave me his. Yeah. Shane gave me his. And I don't remember who else. I got 3 bears.
Okay.
So.
Well, if we deep freeze it and do a next day shipment, it should be fine. I've sent elk meat. I've traded a guy up in Alaska for salmon. I've sent elk meat up there.
Yeah, so that's the reasoning. But getting back to the people, like we started the bear camp just because cabin fever, man. You hunt all fall, and then you go through, like I call it, postpartum hunting depression.
Yeah,
because you're stuck, and you can do trapping and stuff, but it's hard because we're all busy, so it's hard to get it. I spend the winter months catching up on all the crap I didn't do in the fall, and then so anyways, it was actually me and I think Justin Crosley were like, hey,
let's do this.
Huh.
And so how did you know Adam before that?
Adam went to school, grew up in Post Falls, and I'd ran into him several times up there, and I can't say I knew him because he's quite a bit younger than me. I think he's like 32, 33. But I went to Post Falls High School. He went to Post Falls. He grew up like a block from me. I always knew who he was, but I started running into him in the late 90s, early 2000s. Where he owns that outfitting business, he used to work for the outfitter.
That's right.
So I had always run into him up there.
Yeah.
And then we just we actually camped at a totally different spot the first year. And then the next year we moved close to him. And he finally came over, and I said, "Oh, man, we kind of knew who each other was." And he goes, since you guys are up here fucking up my spot, anyways, we might as well all camp together.
Nice.
And I was like, "That's a great idea," and it's been beneficial to him because there's a lot of us that want to do our freelancing. They want to do their own thing, but a lot of guys want to pay Adam. He is an outfitter in the state of Idaho.
Yeah.
It's called Crooked Arrow Outfitting, I believe, right? Crooked Arrow.
Oh shit!
It's Crooked Arrow Outfitting. If you want to, if you want a reasonably priced bear hunt, look him up because he does get people a lot of bears.
Does he have information on his site, or we should tell people information?
No, he don't have a website.
So if you guys want to be a part of, it's Adam Johnson.
Adam Johnson Cricket Arrow Outfitting.
It's basically a couple $1,000 for a bear. You get maybe 5 to 7 days of hunting.
Yep, get a hold of him. It's mostly baits. I know he will do spot and stocks, but it's a different price because spot and stock actually takes a lot more time from the outfitter. So you got to get a hold of him. And he, this year he was not booked up. I don't think he wanted to be, but he definitely has room.
Everybody kills bears, so I think the only person that didn't kill a bear was Aaron from Peterson Cartridge, and he did see some small bears. That's the thing about it is you will have the opportunity to shoot a bear. It just nobody can guarantee what the size would be.
No, you have. I always say you have opportunity.
Yes, there's always opportunity there.
It's up to you. Like I would be a terrible client.
Yeah. If you guys happen to be interested in booking a hunt with Adam, you guys are welcome to email podcast@shoottohunt.com with all of your contact info, and we will make sure that Adam gets it. Mm-hmm. And but that's pretty much the nitty gritty of it. Cool bear camp, lots of good guys, couple $1,000, get a bear.
And you have to. The only thing about his is it's cheaper because you have to supply your own food. He don't.
Yeah, it's not with food. But if you come during the Rokslide week, there's always shit going down as far as food is concerned. In fact, you kind of like you do a little bit of foraging.
Yeah. I just go to camp. Like Crosley, they lock their doors now
because the bears get in.
that can be taken two different ways. What kind of bear camp we got going on there?
Yeah.
And it is Pride Month, so shit. I walk around like Justin always laughs because Justin's super OCD and like he has this Arctic Fox trailer and he'll go hunting and I'll go in and he always has candy and shit. So he has candy. So I always get in there and he's so OCD, dude. You move one little fucking thing on his table, he fucking knows.
Dude, he is one of the most well prepared guys. Like when that bear got stuck down in that den, he had a fucking manual come along in that trailer.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
He just Adam goes, somebody have a come along? And Justin's like, yeah, I do. And if we didn't have that come along, I don't think that bear was coming out of that hole.
No, Justin has been there, done that. He does a lot of hunting.
So we're just about done with the bear camp video. It's going to be about 15, 20 minutes. It's going to come out on Tuesday along with this audio version of the podcast. Tuesday it'll be Tuesday the 4th. I guess that's perfect.
Yep.
So on July 4th, if you want to see, we had a bear that got shot and it ran down the side of a mountain. Everybody got up early the next day, and Adam Johnson, fucking with experience, there's this massive hillside, and somehow he figures out this bear went in this hole and died. And he crawls headfirst into this hole and ties a rope to it, maybe 15, 20 feet in, and we used a manual come along on a tree and pulled that freaking bear out. And that's all on the video if you want to check it out.
Yeah, I actually went home to get some pics. I was going to get Tanya. She didn't end up coming back. But anyways, how far was it from where the bait was to where the bear went?
What do you think, Mace? 400 yards?
Yeah, 4 or 5, probably.
Actually, that seemed a little long. Let's just call it 400 yards. It was a big, steep hillside, right? So if you imagine that a bear on, right on a ridge just bombs off the side, and you have this big open area, and you don't know what direction it went. It was right at dusk, and they all go out there with a search party in the morning. Adam just happens to go right to this spot. I guess maybe he must have had one go in there before or something, and I mean, it was a den. But the bear, the bear didn't get killed in the den. The bear was killed up on the bait and then ran down. And he goes in head, freaking crazy ass guy goes in head first looking in the bear den.
Yeah, he is nutty. And he claimed he's probably the only one small enough to get in there because he's my height and he's about $150, $160. But he runs hounds, he runs cougars, runs cats, he runs bears. So being close to bears and cats isn't new to him. So.
He has a ton of experience, and it's funny because for the last 2 years that we went up there, I don't really remember bears being, always having the death run. And this year, I guess because we were there more nights than we've ever been, like we probably spent a total of 11 or 12 nights up there, and we got to see enough bears getting shot and whatnot that you realize that even on a really good shot, like Jessica shot hers from a blind at 30 yards with the rum, perfect double lung broadside shot, had about, let's call it a 3-4 inch exit wound. It was a big enough exit wound where it was spraying blood. And that bear still ran 40 yards, and he had kind of a little area that I think he slept in or she slept in that was tucked up under a tree, and made it back to that spot and died. But spraying out blood, it still ran 40 yards. Impressive.
If you don't get a CNS shot, I always argue online, and I used to. I don't argue it hardly anymore, but if you don't get a CNS, central nervous system shot, and I don't care if you're shooting a 33 XC or you're shooting a 300 Ultra or you're shooting a 6 Creed, they're gonna run.
Yeah. And the first couple years that Mason shot bears, I went back and looked at the videos, and unfortunately, one was a headshot, not intentional.
Was that where you're aiming? Now's the time to come clean.
Definitely was intentional.
Tell your story.
Hey, I just didn't want it to death run, so I just wanted to drop it right there where it stood.
You're fucking full of shit.
He's so good at 570 yards. He's like, I don't want my bear to go to where I'm going to drop him.
Where were you aiming? The ear.
I was trying to take that tick out of the ear.
You did stone him. That was his first one?
So the second one he headshot. The first one I went back to and look at the video. It was a real small bear, but he like high shoulder necked it, and it just fucking dropped and stayed. So our entire bear experience was bears just dropping. And then this year, I got to see multiple bears die, multiple misses, and got to see the death run. And then as you watch more and more videos, you realize that no matter, like you just said, if it's not a central nervous system hit or a headshot, fucking bears are.
Oh yeah, those headshots, the ultimate central nervous system.
I mean, but then you get to tearing them apart. You get to dressing them out when you're done, killing one, and the skin is thin and the body is so small. There's a lot of fur there, right? But man, they are freaking tough.
They are tough, and people think black bears. I mean, I have personally never shot a grizzly bear, but that they're these big, tough animals as far as hide-wise. They are super thin-skinned, and they're small targets. They're condensed box, and when we had Ryan Lampers on, I totally agree with he says middle of middle. And I think middle of middle, especially, if it's 100 yards and in, most people don't miss.
Now that where there was some misses that we're going to talk shit about in a minute, but now that we were sitting 30 yards from that bear with Jessica, and I tell her to aim middle, and then I saw what the bear did, if I had it to do over again, I would tell her to aim the same as a deer or an elk.
Well, here's the biggest difference in my opinion is Ryan is never shooting him at most of the time 100 yards off of bait.
Yeah.
So he wants the biggest fudge factor.
He also likes, it's a meat thing.
Yep, meat thing. And he also wants the biggest fudge factor.
Yep.
And you can be a little left, you can be a little right.
Oh.
To me, if they're 100 or 200 yards and in, I would also shoot them really tight to that shoulder because you're going to chance a clip in the shoulder and they're going to drop.
I think next year we're going to change up our strategy a little bit and try and do that and then see what the results are and see if we can get some more kill shots on video.
Well, my second one with that XC blew up the front shoulder.
Let's go with your. We're getting in the bear. We'll get into the bear kills now.
Yeah.
Let's hear because he was the first and the biggest bear Mason shot at bear camp.
The week. Yep.
So take us through your first bear.
Well, when me and Luke went down, he's our camera guy. At first, I used the XC at 100 yards and missed him low. Then 30 minutes later, he came back.
Let's talk about that.
You got to give him the juicy details leading up to this.
So how did you find the bait? How did it happen?
So me and my dad were driving around, and Adam helped us out with where to put the baits because we had never bait before.
We spent 3 days driving around in the rain trying to kind of spot and stalk, and we set up one of our. If you go up there, you either pay Adam to hunt on his bait and then guaranteed to get a bear, basically, or you try and do your own thing. So we tried to do our own thing. The first few days it was raining, and we set up a bait out in the open, and then we sat there every night and watched it, and not a fucking thing happened.
And then we went and baited with Adam and realized our spot was horrible.
I'm like, man, we got to go learn some shit. So we went and helped Adam. We went and looked at a bunch of his different baits and kind of saw what he was doing versus what we were doing, and we were all fucked up. So then
we found a new spot, and actually that morning my dad was sick, so he stayed back at camp, and me and Luke.
How many days was your bait out?
That was an evening.
How many days was your bait out?
I think it was out 1 day.
1 day. So this is your first bait ever.
Yep.
On your own.
First good bait.
Well, right, but I mean your first bait you guys were, and it took how long to get hit?
A day. Less than 24 hours.
We set up this bait where there had not been a bait site set up in years. Adam said he baited there before, but it's been years. So we bait this tree.
Okay, what did you bait?
We used a lot of trail mix, buttercream frosting. Go ahead.
And then some special juice.
Yeah, Adam's got this fucking super secret sauce. We're not going to talk about it, but there's this shit that just brings them in. So we had that and those two things, and I think that night, that it got hit. And then we didn't know because we didn't have a camera on it yet because you were bringing up that camera from Jessica.
Yes.
Right. So then I wasn't feeling good. I had the shits. I don't know what happened, but I got the shits. So I stayed back that evening. Luke and Mason go just to sit on the bait. And they were barely fucking there, and a monster fucking walks out.
At 6, the big bear walks out, missed him low with the XC. And then, of course, I think it's the gun. So I went and grabbed the rum. And then he comes back 30 minutes later trotting up.
Well, let's talk a little shit about this miss because we had this bait is set up so nice. It's probably like a 3-degree down angle.
Yeah,
You're up on
less
this
than 100 yards.
You're up on this rock cliff, laying down with perfect fucking prone position. Perfect position.
Yeah.
And Mason is a good shot. So when he came back, and they didn't tell me the whole story initially.
Yep.
They were trying to keep it a secret. They didn't fucking tell me. They just opened the trunk and like, hey, look at our bear. So then Mason tells me the real story later. And, it was, and I'm saying this because it's basically to say that anybody can miss in a situation like that because Mason is a great shot, killed animals at almost unimaginable distances. And here he is at 100 yards with a giant bear in front of him, huge target. And it wasn't the gun because you killed the second bear with the same gun. So it's not the gun.
What do you think happened?
I think it was nerves because I hadn't seen a bear that year, been a year. And then he was so close, and never been that close. So.
Did you know when you broke the trigger that it was low? You shot low, right?
Yeah, well, I knew I didn't hit him at first. Then we went down there, and there's this giant hole in the tree. So we know I didn't hit him. And then
did it go off surprise like you weren't ready?
I have no idea. I think it was just nerves.
I think usually when you miss high. So it's unusual to miss low. There must have been, and the bipod didn't have a great spot to go. So we were kind of shooting off a bag on the front,
it was like
which is unusual.
The bipod, it was on there, but it wasn't out. You just laid it on
So
the
what
bipod.
I think happened, and he wasn't loaded up the bipod properly, and the bipod slipped right when he was pulling the trigger, and it went, and the front of the rifle slid down.
I've seen a lot of people miss low and they're just not ready for the shot. They're like they're not used to the trigger, which you are probably used to that trigger. It's just they're not ready low. High usually is always the rear bag or rear support. You dropped it. So it's interesting. That's why I'm taking. Not to everybody misses. I missed your dad.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, form missed.
Yeah.
So I mean, experts miss. So I wouldn't.
Never know.
So then I went and grabbed the rum. 'Cause of course I thought it was the gun. And then 30 minutes later, he just comes back and
that's what you told Luke, right? You're like, Luke, I'm gonna go grab the other gun because that bear's coming back.
yeah, definitely the XC. And then he comes back. I thought it was a great shot, but there was not like a single drop of blood. No blood at all.
Where'd you hit it?
It ended up being like perfect center right there.
It was.
And then he ran, I would say 20, 25 yards. But it was so weird. We didn't see a drop of blood.
Yeah.
There was just like a little tiny sprinkle.
Well, this is normal for bears because their fur soaks up a lot of that blood. Yeah. That's why Jessica's was weird because it was just spraying. Must have been right in the right spot.
But you had an exit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I imagine
Good
that 215
3-inch
just
exit.
fucking hold ass through.
Well, it only made it 20, 25 yards and balled up. It was definitely dead.
Well, and you take how the burger's killed there. It takes 4 to 6 inches for that thing to fully open. So I mean, it's halfway through that sucker. So yeah.
And like we were telling you, so this what we just described, that entire scene in a split screen shooter kill, all that is in the Rokslide video, and it's badass.
And then the next day, we come back with my dad, Luke, and me, and there's nothing.
Wait a minute.
Oh.
Wasn't there like some manliness going on about hauling the bear out?
Yeah.
Average people just cut it up there, but some people just haul it out whole.
That was the next one.
No. Luke carried that one out. Tell the whole story.
Oh, so he didn't want to tell about Luke's manliness.
Yeah,
Fuck Luke.
I didn't carry that one out. Luke did it for me.
So we team carried it up to the bait to get good pictures because it's kind of flat right there. And then once we did that, we were doing it together. And then Luke just said, "I'm gonna throw it on my back."
He said together like 4 times before.
together.
So on the Rokslide video, Luke has this enormous fucking bear slung over his back, and he's marching it up the side of the hill
almost
in cowboy boots.
In cowboy boots, and the big fucking bear head is right now. And then you get a sense of the size of the bear because the head is next to Luke's head, and Luke is not a short guy.
His head was massive.
Yeah, we rugged that one. That's the first rug we done.
I don't look at bears a lot. I've seen a lot of dead bears, and when I looked down, I was like, "Oh, that's a good Idaho bear, North Idaho bear." Because most of them come in, and as you well know, you've seen them. You've shot some. I've shot some, and you're like, "It's okay." But yours was.
The word is dink.
Yeah, dink shawty. There's gonna be a new soft mount called shawty in here.
Yeah.
But anyways, so you got it to the truck.
Yeah, we ended up getting a truck, and then we drove back, and there's a skid on there. It's going with my dad. He's like, "Oh, that's a huge bear," because we came back acting like we didn't shoot one.
Yeah.
Although there was blood all over our clothes and faces.
Fucking little Luke walks in the tent and wakes me up, and he's got like Rambo fucking blood on his face. Right? I'm looking. I'm like, You got a bear?
And
Yeah, we got a bear.
So then we opened the tailgate. He's like, oh, that's a huge
Dude,
bear.
it had the whole ass end of the bed was full of bear.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, oh, nice one.
Yeah.
Didn't
Yes.
expect it because like we had just set that fucking beta.
That's
And
impressive.
the best part is he was sitting there sleeping.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then the next day he comes with us and we go back up there. Nothing though with Luke.
Nothing day 3.
Now we're trying to get Luke to shoot.
Now we got a camera on the bait.
but
so
that
we-
was day 2. Oh, I guess shooting.
So we had a sow hitting the camera. So then we go back up there day 4.
Yep.
And we're watching for a while. And my phone's about to be dead. And I need to use the fucking Olin deal to record it. So I go up to the truck. I plug my phone in. I fucking fall asleep in the truck, right? I wasn't asleep.
Where's he at?
I wasn't asleep very long, and bang! I'm like, motherfucker. So I go running down there, right? And I said, well, fuck, all I got to do is fall asleep and bears die.
Well, here's the best part. Me and Luke were in cowboy. I was in Vans and he was in cowboy boots, and both times the bear were killed.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I got a picture of that.
Lucky.
Matter of fact, with both of them lined up. They're laying down next to each other on that little cliff right there, and they got their shoes fucking next to each other.
It's Pride Month.
It is right.
The funny, I want to back that up because we had this long conversation with Luke before the bear hunt about, oh man, I just want to hunt with 30-30 spot and stock.
Yeah.
But once the bear was on the bait, it was a whole different outlook.
Once he had the opportunity to kill a bear, he was killing a bear.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
funny how that works.
And his
Yes.
was a good size.
You know, and talking about spot and stock as far as like booking that with Adam or whatever, we've been up there now a few years in a row, driven a lot of miles up there, and never once, not even once, have we seen a bear walking in the open. All the hunting we did.
Yeah, the time we get up there, in my opinion, it's better to spot and stock like the earlier part of May and late part of April. Because once, at North Idaho in general, there's so fucking many people baiting. It's hard to catch a bear in the open because they can just eat, go lay down, eat, go lay down. So you don't see them in the open.
Yeah, but right when they wake up and they're out looking for that initial feed to get
Yep.
started, that's when you can catch them.
Yep.
Yeah, before we left, there was this bear. There wasn't even any food. He would sit there and lay at the bait, expecting food to just pop out of nowhere.
Yep. So
He was a dink bear, though.
with Luke's.
No, the bear that was just laying down there.
Oh, was it? So Luke shot his. Same thing with the 300 Ultra.
Yep.
Where did he hit it?
His was a good
Oh,
shot,
his was a
too.
perfect shot,
It
too,
was-
yeah.
And then... but-
Made it a little bit further because I
did.
was there. I was there right after the shot,
Yeah.
and then we're standing up on that cliff, and we can hear the bear
Breathing.
just below us, like it was dying, and you could hear it sucking in through like a sucking chest wound. It was doing that and did that for maybe 30 seconds, and then the sound stopped, and we walked down, and it was right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was probably like 30 yards.
that was a sow,
Yep.
about a 5-foot sow.
Through the chest?
Yeah, yeah, another good shot. That rum is a machine.
215s,
Yeah,
30 cal.
it is.
Almost get 6 UM.
So we were basically done at that point. It was barely, it was only a few. Well, we had already hunted 3 days, and then that was 4 days. So
I think, yeah, that was 6th day.
Yeah, because you guys were staying for 7 days, and that was like day 4.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then you had the poop incident where one of the dogs had diarrhea and ran out in front of Jake's tent, and I walked out there.
Look at Ryan comes in the tent, like walks me out there and show you. He's walking me out to show me something. I'm like, oh, what are we gonna go look at? And he points to this fucking diarrhea on the ground. He's like, Jake, was that you?
It was like a spot, and then 3 feet another spot.
The walking
and then
shits.
3 feet, there's another spot, and then there was like a big pile. There's no toilet paper, but I had to say, Jake, what happened
Yeah, we
here?
totally should have got that on film because now that we're telling the story, it's hilarious. Was that you, Jake? Everybody's making fun of me because I had the shits one day. You know.
Was that you, Jake? Shit out
Good
there.
lord. Good
Anyways,
Lord.
it was a dog.
Yeah. But bear can't. So bear hunting in general to me is pretty cool because it's not elk and deer. You're waking up at the fucking butt crack of dawn
It's
to get into your
intense.
spot in the dark. It's usually cold because of the season that you're hunting, all that good shit. Bear is like you sleep in, you wake up at 8 or 9 when the camp gets going. It's nice weather.
Yep.
And
it's not like, to me, bear hunting is, I mean, I guess it could be in certain areas. It's just not competitive. Like elk and deer hunting is not only trying to, find the animal, but you're trying to beat other people to areas, and you're trying to be the first one there. So bear hunting's like low profile.
I have. What do you say? What does Ryan Avery say to the people that say I can't believe you could kill such a majestic animal?
Well, I've shot a lot of bears, and I used to cut their guts open all the time and look what they're eating. I don't care if the bear is a dink, like Shorty, like we're talking a 3.5 foot, 1.5 year old bear, or the bear's
Like
17
like
years.
Form's bear.
like Flum's bear. Yeah, Shorty. I can't wait to get every time
we should put a fucking collar on it and get a tag that says Shouty.
It sounds worse than it is, but we're getting a soft mount. So it's like if you've seen the wolves that Jake has, they're soft mounted like a stuffed animal. Well, shoot a little bear, there's nothing else to do. Jimmy Tippett started it off. He shot Roxy, he calls her. And if you ever hear the story, and if you ever heard Jimmy Tippett's, we've told this story about how great big this bear was. Well, it was a 3.5 foot bear, and he thought it was a 7.5 foot bear. So anyways, he had to soft mount it. Well, as soon as Forum shot this bear, and we walked up to it, I was like, can I have that? He's like, no, it's my bear.
It's my stuffed animal.
I said, oh, we got to soft mount this thing. Yeah. And I said, we can put it in the shoot to hunt, and it could be a little mascot. Anyways, where were we even going with that? I don't even remember now.
Well, I asked you, I said, what do you have to say to the people that, how can you shoot such a majestic animal?
I've shot a lot of bears. I cut their stomachs open when I was a younger kid. Everyone had hoofs in it. Everyone had sets of hoofs. Hoofs don't digest very well, obviously. So
they probably don't come out very well either.
No,
they're just kind of stuck.
I imagine they have to just sit there and degrade. Yeah. So every bear you see is probably killing fawns and calves. So to me, I mean, if you're a hunter, I guess if you're an anti-hunter, it doesn't matter. I'm never going to talk you into any of that. But I think like Disney, and I say that because my wife loves Disney, but Disney and all this teddy bear bullshit has got us to where people think it's like the people in Yellowstone going to try to pet a bison. Fucking idiots.
Have no idea what they are.
They're wild animals, man. They will kill you in a heartbeat. There's no circle of life. It's not freaking the Lion King. These animals are killers. And I don't care if it's a 1.5-year-old just kicked off away from its mom cub, or it's a 17, 20-year-old boar. They're killing elk. They're killing deer. So to me, I have no problems killing them because it is a circle of life. We're a predator for a reason. If I gave Mason a BB gun when he's 6 years old, what's the first thing he's going to do? He's going to go out and try to shoot fucking birds. We're predators. It's in our nature. You can suppress it all you want living in a big city in the concrete jungles, but we are designed to kill and eat meat. And people say, well, there is something to be said about, ooh, I don't eat it, like wolves or something like that. Well, wolves are disgusting to eat and they have parasites. Well, bears are delicious to eat. And if you cook it right, Luke, you don't get trichinosis. So that's the thing to them is I'm never going to convince the antis. The people in the middle is who I want to convince. And if you are into good conservation, you have to manage and kill predators.
Yeah.
It's not Disneyland.
And there's no fucking shortage of black bears here in Idaho.
No.
And in several places. Like we're talking about going up and hunting black bear in northeast Alberta. The populations just get heavier the further north you go.
You do. And you got to believe the biologists of the state of Idaho, there's so many bears in the top 12 units of Idaho. They have a 2-bear limit and it's reduced
discounted,
to out-of-staters. So you can come and hunt bears. If you want to shoot a bear, I think it's $184 for the license and it's $35 for the tag, I think.
Yeah. And you can shoot 2. And so if you were coming in from Colorado or whatever and you want to come hunt with Adam, it's probably one of the cheaper, cooler hunts that you'd do here.
Yeah. So you're into it for $210. You could, if you don't want to use an outfitter, but if you just want to come and, try your bear hunting skills, $210, dude, you're in the game. Buy a couple wolf tags because we need to shoot some.
A lot of guys just drive forest roads and spot and stalk. And if you hit it at the right timing, like you said, when they first come out, you might get lucky.
Yeah. And if you're going to come, do some research and try to get away from the outfitters, because that's, like it or not, the outfitters are putting out a lot of baits because they can. There's 2. But I say that with a grain of salt because there's 2 huge outfitters. There's actually 3, the only 2 that are really hunting bears. And we see bears every year. And not just one bear. Like I said, I had 9 different bears I could have shot this year. Tanya went out twice and she had 4 different bears she could have shot. So they're there. So
it's what size bear you're willing to kill.
And I always say that if Tanya wasn't with me, I would have shot that sow. But it was her choice. It was her hunt. But I think if you don't kill bears, they're going to kill your elk and deer. And I think that in North Idaho, there's lots of predation. There's lots of cats. There's lots of wolves. There's lots of bears. So do your part. Manage that population.
Was it Washington that removed the spring bear hunt? Is that right?
Yep. And that was a totally non-scientific deal. It was all emotional. They took out bear hunting just off emotion. The biologist said it should be there. And they have their little board of game commissioners. And I don't know, we should have, I can't think of his name, but he wrote a book on bear hunting. We should have him because he's in Washington. He's in depth into that. Basically what it sounds like, they have 5 commissioners. 3 or 4 of them at the time were not exactly conservatives. and they voted it out on emotion instead of science. And they have, it's weird, is they have a huge, their bear season starts early over there for fall. It's 1st of August. And man, they have some huge bears over there eating huckleberries and delicious.
Yeah.
So that was a freaking tangent. But so who shot the third bear? Was it Derek?
I think it was the guy in the trailer.
Well, it was
Was Pop Pops the third?
Pops was third. That was the den recovery.
No, his son got one first.
Rob got it first.
Yeah,
Oh
Rob
yeah,
got a
yeah.
smaller
Because
one.
Rob
got it on the same bait that you shot one.
Yep.
Yeah. And then his son Luke, he's like, yeah, my dad shot a very tiny bear.
So I helped actually go up and get that bear. And
That's right. That was the evening.
Yeah, it was funny because we go up there and I walked down and Rob had already drug it up to where you guys sit at. And I walked up and Luke, I think Luke's 6, little blonde dude. He says, yeah, my dad shot a little bear. and then you'd have his dad, Rob, tell the story. And Rob's like, he kept coming in, coming out. And every time he'd come back, Luke would say, oh, Dad, that's a big bear. You need to shoot it. So it's funny to me when I walk up, Luke's like, hands on his hips. My dad shot a little bear. Oh.
How big was it?
4.5 foot, probably.
So Mason was almost a 5-foot sow shot in the same spot. He hiked that motherfucker out on his back all the way to the truck.
Well, we just talked about it. He's 230 and 13, man.
Yeah.
The world's his oyster at the moment.
Fucking beefcake. Yeah.
So he shot that bear, and then the den bear must have been after that.
Yeah,
I
the
was
den
gone.
bear. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So then Rob and then Jim. Well, in between there, actually that first day we were there, Shane shot one.
Oh yeah.
Thought he shot one, so we went out the next morning and tried to do a recovery, but we found it back on the camera, so then we left.
Yep. And then he ended up.
They shot one anyway.
There's a lot of bear shots.
What was the deal with the? Because we weren't there for that, I think. What was the deal with the one they did shoot that looked like it had already been shot in the head?
Oh, so there's a bear on a camera, and Shane and Eric actually could have shot it and had a hole in the side of its jaw and had a hole in its arm, and we were debating whether it was shot or it was a bear fight.
Oh, okay.
And that I can't remember the guy that Jimmy brought. Anyways, they shot it after we'd all left, and they determined that it was a bear fight.
Okay.
And those boars get after it, especially the first part of June, and they will just fuck each other up. And basically, his hole was so big, he'd eat food in the bait, and it'd fall out the side of his jaw.
Oh, no.
And he had a pretty good sized wound in his forearm. And I wasn't there. I mean, when I saw the forearm, I was like, oh, that thing was definitely shot and ran off. But
I just saw this. Somebody recorded this lengthy grizzly bear fight in Alaska, and I don't know if it's old or new, but I just seen it pop up on Instagram, and it's fucking brutal. The amount of power and what they're doing. I mean, just gnawing on each other's backs and the speed and it's just crazy.
If you even go up to, like, let's say Shorty, the one the forum shot, dude, that thing would fuck you up at 90, 100 pounds.
Yeah.
They're just a little muscle. And you watch them, like me and Kelly watch this little grizzly bear cub, probably 100-pound grizzly bear cub, grab this rock. This is 10 years ago. And he basically picked it up and moved it. Well, the next day we walked right by there. That rock probably weighed 350 pounds. And he just picked it up like, moved it out of the way.
So me and Jess are sitting in that blind, and that first cub walks out, and there'll be some footage of this in the bear camp video too. It's like it's a blonde cub. And what would you say the length of those cubs are when they're a year and a half? Maybe
3 feet tops.
3 feet from tail to nose, basically. Yep. And Jessica's just fucking mortified, right? She thinks this bear's going to charge, which it probably could charge her and fuck her up pretty good, right? But it's not. It's more scared. It's scared of a damn grasshopper. So a twig broke or something, and that little bear jumped off that bait and was 10 feet up in the tree in a matter of 1 second. I mean, it just did, and it was up, And if I picture Mason trying to get himself up that tree, it wouldn't be a pretty sight. So that fucking bear is strong.
Oh yeah, and those bears are skittish because those boars will come and kill them. So they got to.
In fact, Adam had that shit on video. So his trail camera, if you played each picture, like you kept clicking forward, it showed a boar come in and it chased 2 cubs out of the tree. You see the cubs falling out of those 2 trees while the boar is in there.
They fell like 15 feet and then they went up the next one.
Yeah. So what you just said.
Yeah, they'll kill them dead. So those things are sketched out.
Mm-hmm. I just learned that too. So I was asking Adam to explain to me like when the cub gets released from its mother, and basically they're born in January in the den, And then that cub stays with the mom through that mating season in June until the following June. As soon as the sow goes into heat the following June, so the cub is a year and a half old, that sow lets the cub go.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the boars were trying to kill that cub the whole time because so it kicked the mom back into estrus. Or if it's estrus for bears, I don't know, back into heat. So
Yeah. So that little cub that we were seeing had literally just been released from its mother. So it was fucking skitsy.
Yep. Absolutely. And they don't want any part of any other bears.
No, I don't know who was worse, the fucking cub or Jessica, because every fucking sound we heard, dude, was a damn bear coming in to eat her. It didn't matter what it was. Squirrel would chirp. Squirrel would fucking chirp and say, there's a bear coming.
There's a bear coming. When Tanya first started, I had a lot of blinds, and we were pretty close like that. When Tanya first started bear hunting with me, and I have a habit of falling asleep in the blind all the time. And it'd be like, did you hear that? And she'd kick me. Did you hear that? And I'd wake up and I'm like, nope. I'd fall back asleep. Did you hear that? So I never actually got to sleep because there'd be a fucking squirrel and she'd kick me.
I was sitting there playing after that cub was there forever. So you get tired of watching him at some point, right? So you get tired of watching the cub, and I go down and play this 3D match game on my phone. It's like this fucking game, dude. It drops all this shit in a big square, and you got to move everything around and find the matching ones, huh? No. I didn't say the name of the game.
That's the name of the game.
What is it called?
The 3D match.
Oh, well, that was fun. That took a lot of brains to figure that out. So anyways, but it's addicting, right? So I'm sitting there playing the game, and because Jess for the last 3 hours has not taken her fucking eyes off that bait barrel. So I'm playing the game. Well, now she's watching me play the game. And I just happened to glance up, and that fucking sow was sitting there. So the point is that she had worried about every single sound that we heard. And that cub left, and that sow came in and didn't make a single sound. Didn't even know they were there. And all we're worried about is sound the whole time.
Yeah.
So it's pretty intense.
Paws don't make noise like hoofs.
And she shoots that 300 rum next to my head. And it didn't matter what ear protection I had on. I was ringing. I had powder in my mouth. And the fucking phone, I'm holding the phone up literally in the path of the muzzle brake port. And man, it was hardcore.
Those TI Pro brakes work.
Yes. Wow. Now we're building her a 6.5 Som improved with one of those Thunder Beast Ultra 5s on it, and that'll be her. That would be the perfect close quarters, type of killing gun.
That'll be perfect.
Yeah. We did just order a 6.5. So I took a 7 PRC case, we necked it down to 6.5 and improved it.
Yeah.
So we have a 6.5/7 PRC improved reamer coming. That'll be fun on our medium.
That would be really nice.
Mm-hmm.
You could shoot at 156 really fast, or a 147.
Yes. So that's gonna be fun. So I think she's gonna build the 6.5 Som improved, then I'm gonna build that one, and then we'll see what we get for velocity differences.
You get all that done, it'll almost be a 6UM.
He loves the 6UM.
So there we kind of jumped around, but there was how many bears total? 6, 7?
Well, just between me, Mace, and Luke, there was 4 bears that died. Well, not me.
Well,
Mason, Jessica, and Luke, there was 4 bears that died. So we left bear camp. We came back. We went and shot the Night Force Steel Challenge.
Yep.
And then after we came back, I took Mason and my daughter and Jessica back out there and tried to get the girls a bear because neither of them had shot a bear before, and that was that trip. And so it ended up on Father's Day. We sent the kids a different direction to a different bait than the one me and Jess sat on in the blind. They were at the 130. It was a 130-yard shot.
Like 150.
150-yard shot. And the day before, Maddie passed on a good bear thinking it wasn't a good bear. And she was waiting.
Were you with her?
Yeah.
He tells her to shoot it.
I told her
she
to
didn't
shoot it.
fucking shoot it. So I was just...
The problem is she always wants more than me. So she wanted a bigger bear than me. And I said that one was smaller than mine.
rivalries.
It is. So she passed on the bear. So they get back to camp that night, and Mason had it all on video. So Mason showed me the video, and I look at Maddie. I'm like, that was a good, because we just got done putting in like 4 days of hard work, right? And finally a bear comes out, and she passes on it. It's a good bear. Like, what are you thinking, right? So I said, you're going to go back there tomorrow, and you're going to go kill that bear. So we went back the next morning and rebaited that site, and then we baited, me and Jess sat up there, and those two go down there, and then she misses it at 7:30 with the XC. Bear comes back at 8:20, and Mason kills it with the XC. So technically, it's kind of Maddie's bear, but
I would like to point out it was dark. I couldn't even see the reticle. So like with my bear I shot in the head, I had to bring the gun up to see where the reticle was, and I brought it back down. That's when the XC just blew all the guts out.
Yeah, he hits this bear in the low chest, and in the video, it kind of looks like all the guts fall out on the ground.
I want to preface this with, all the Fish and Game listen. There's a video evidence. It was still plenty of legal shooting light. It was
Oh yeah. No, we're not doing what we're not supposed to be doing.
So I saw the video. It looked like the fucking guts just fall out the bottom of this bear.
And then it comes through the whole lower chest, blows the whole lower chest off, hits the offside, breaks the offside leg, and it still made it 10 yards.
Yep.
Just
machine.
Yeah, I say black bears aren't tough, but they are tough in the way of they can skedaddle, and they do have enough fur outside of a 33XC hitting them at 150 yards. They have enough fur to block up a lot of blood. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So when you walked up to it,
well, when I walked up, I thought it was a big bear, because the day before it looked huge. Afterwards,
do you think it was the same exact bear?
Oh, it was for sure. Before that too. So the day before when she passed up on it, there was a small dink one too. And it was so crazy. There was a barrel there, and you could see his entire body in the barrel, eating
He was
the food.
crawling in the barrel.
And there was still room in the barrel.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was the dink bear.
The next day, there was a different dink bear, still smaller. But I told her not to shoot it because it wasn't as big as the one.
Yeah. So for me, so on Father's Day, it's
out.
8 p.m., just shot that bear, and then we tracked it down. I hauled it up to the top. She got her pictures, all that. And then at the same time, Mason in-reaches me bear down. So me and Jess are hauling ass on that side-by-side to get back to camp so I could drop the bear, then take the side-by-side to go help them get that bear out. So I'm hauling ass down the road to the 2 mile, just left camp. And I only get a couple miles down the road, and here's the truck coming at me. And he fucking hauled that bear all the way out, put in the truck, and they were already almost back to camp by the time we were.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. And then, so my kids are 13 and 15. So my kids that are 13 and 15 drove my truck to a different bait through fucking, cliffy hillside mountain roads, killed a bear, got the bear back to the truck, and we're almost back to camp. It was impressive. It was.
I asked him about him driving on those dirt roads, and he's like, I said, were you nervous? He goes, a few spots.
I definitely have a license.
Yeah. So kids, so just so you guys know, kids at 14 and a half in Idaho, they can start to get their driver's training and then have a license by, I think it's 15.
Yeah. It's country roads. Who cares?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no video evidence
of the driving.
Otherwise, you just be like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that, and then me and Tanya went up and we saw lots. We didn't see a lot.
There was a shooter on camera.
There was lots of bears.
There was a shooter.
I could have shot. You guys had, be in the video. You guys had put up what the fuck did you hang in the tree? What was that?
So that was from Alaska 907 bait or whatever. And it's called
907 Batum.
907 Batum. It's called I think it was called a scent ball.
Okay.
But it wasn't a ball, dude. It was like a 12, 14 inch disc
like
that was 4 inches tall. Yeah, like a cake, like a double layer type of cake. And it was like a solid deal with a rope on it. So it had about 2 feet of rope on the top of it. We tied paracord to the rope. We tied a rock to the other end of the paracord. We threw it up on a big branch of the tree, pulled the rock down, and we tied it up. It must have been 20 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
And then you got this fucking bear on video climb the tree and is sitting there just eating the shit out of it.
It's pulling on it like as hard as it can. If that breaks, it's going to go ass over tea kettle. And he actually pops it in his mouth and it comes apart.
Yeah.
What did it smell?
So the one we put there was banana.
It was like, it's like some honey scented banana oat.
Well,
It's all edible. It's not like...
In my mind, I'm thinking, there's no way that's going to get a bear. And then I literally go there and I see this fucking bear come on up, climb up the tree, and he starts eating it.
It fucking worked, huh?
At that point, the other one on the ground, I would have shot that one.
Well, she climbed up the tree too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they were doing the nasty for a while, so it was an interesting time.
We got some bear humping on video.
We got some bear porn.
Luke's going to get it on the Rokslide video there.
Yep. And then we could have shot another side. We could have shot a couple sows or a couple cubs again, a chocolate and a black one. But I don't know.
If you're not subscribed to the Shoot to Hunt YouTube channel, this will be the first, but there will be a number of hunt videos that everything that we do now, we're going to record it.
Yep. Good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
I mean, you get to see Mason, so it's obviously the ugly. Idaho, is that it? Are we done with that?
I don't know.
Next year, hey, we're going to we're going to take a listener. How are we going to pick a listener?
We'll figure out more details, but basically we just decided that every year at Rokslide Bear Camp, we are going to bring one Shoot to Hunt listener with us to kill a bear. Mm-hmm. And then we'll podcast once they're killed a bear. We'll podcast there at the bear camp about it. That way it's a little more exciting, and of course get it all on video and that good shit. But I think it's an awesome idea. Give people some incentive to.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out exactly how to pick them.
Have to be some type of contest.
Yeah, have to want to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can't be a fucking liberal.
Well, maybe we try to get kids involved too.
Yeah, that'd be the best. That means Mason, like I said, you can't go now, Mason.
Yeah.
We'll figure something out, but mark our words. Yeah, it'll happen next year.
Yep.
I know. I have 2 credits. Oh, shit. That's my phone going
His
off here.
phone
My
has
bad.
got all the funny sayings. Well,
If you guys are watching this on YouTube, there is a rifle in the middle of the table. Just want to review it real quick. We just got done building this for ADG Brass Atlas Development Group. So we have a unique Cerakote pattern and colors on it. It's the ADG Orange, and it's kind of a triangle, different random triangle pattern over an AG Composites chalk branch stock. It was in the carbon paint ready finish. It's a medium Vesper with the new Vesper bolt knob on there, 24-inch benchmark barrel, TI Pro brake, unknown munitions, bottom metal, and mag. Again, on our Vesper, a medium can hold 3.400 inside the mag, and that is a 6.5 PRC there. So it's a very pretty rifle.
it is. What you just said it, but that stock is the chalk branch.
Yeah, AG Composites chalk branch. It has that raised up fore end there, and it really is a nice. I like the way the stock feels.
I do too.
Looks good, and AG Composites does a fantastic job. Between AG, Macmillan, and Manners, it's pretty tough not to find something that you like. But
Do they offer it like in the toe part where it has like a no drop for a bag? Does it have a solid bottom?
not with this raised portion, but they do have some other stocks like the K2 or the Alpine Hunter that do have a flat bottom back there. For me, it's enough. It's a good wide. It's almost like a chassis kind of section with a bag rider back there, but yeah, it's a sexy rifle.
It looks like extra long in the butt.
So I did just build a couple days ago on our website now. If you go to unknownmunitions.com and then services, the top option is actually a UM gun builder. It's a logic form that I built, has drop downs with pricing, and you can actually build your own custom rifle on our website. And then once you get to the bottom, you can click submit, and we will get your request, and we will reach out to you and kind of work through your details. But if you're just interested in trying to piece together a rifle and figure out how much it might cost, all of our charges, all the chalk branch stock pricing, benchmark barrels, all that good shit, everything is in that form. So take a look.
You got Tikkas in there?
Tikka is in there. So the Tikka is an action option.
Look at this.
Yeah, if you're also watching videos, so we just sent out a Tikka action for nitride for Ryan, and it fucking came back. It is smooth. Way smoother than I thought.
It is. And somebody asked on Rokslide to
Tilt it. See, like if you get to slide, if you tilt it. Dude.
Oh, you can just tilt it a little.
Butter.
Who did this?
Blacknitride.com.
And you
They
have to hit a certain poundage number.
If you just send one action to get nitrided, they charge $50. Just one action by itself. And we did do the bolt housing. We disassembled everything, sent it in. It's completely nitrided. And I think we might end up doing this. So we're offering Tikka builds now. We keep Macmillan Game Warden 2.0 and long range stocks in stock. But basically, for $29.95, you'll get a Tikka action, an Ace steel barrel, an SS Pro muzzle brake, a Macmillan Game Warden, either 2.0 or long range stock. You get an upgraded trigger spring, and you get it painted fancy for $29.95.
So you get a custom rifle for $29.95.
That's correct. 6.5 PRC, 7 SOM, 300 WSM, and 6 UM.
6 UM.
Is it only short action?
The 6 UM is probably the one I'd order, but I'm just saying. But are you going to offer that 6.5 improved?
Oh,
6.5 SOM improved?
That 6.57 PRC.
Would that fit in? That would fit in there, huh?
It's going to fit in there.
Oh, yeah, because it's a
3.350.
You should probably put that and that 6.5 SOM.
Yeah, 6.5 SOM improved.
Yeah.
So that'll probably round out. So for those of you that know, I did learn recently. So Tikka does have what they call a short and a long action.
Yep.
But it is the same fucking action.
Yeah, it's just a bolt stop difference.
The only difference, just holding the action in your hand, is the bolt stopping the bolt from coming back to a certain spot. When you buy the Tikka rifle, let's say in 6.5 Creedmoor, it stops earlier when you're pulling the bolt back, and then the magazine itself has a spacer inside the back of the magazine. But the bottom metal and mag and the action are all the same. I also just learned that if you order the XLR chassis to go with it, they have an option for short action and long action. Short action only uses short action AICS mags, and their long action chassis uses the MDT 3550 mag, 3560.
3560.
So if you order like I said, if the Tikka action is the same, even if you're building a Creedmoor, you really don't want the short action version of the chassis to me, because you're limiting your options in the future. It'll still feed.
So I have that in the 6.5U in the 6UM.
Yeah.
I have the long action 560.
Yes.
And it feeds just fine, even though the actual cartridge is 295.
It's 2950 long. You're in the long action XLR chassis with the 3560 mag, and everything works great.
The only downside to the 3560 is the fucking, they only come in 5 rounders, but I always say it wrong. Kinport Peak rifles.
Yeah.
He can make you 3 rounders if you. I mean, there is a up cost. Obviously, he has to charge you to do it. But you send him the MDTs, because MDT makes the bottom metal or makes the magazine for it. He'll make 3 rounders out of it.
The 5 rounder's not horrible, but
it just sticks down.
But some states are limited to 3 down, so I don't think you can even use a 5-round mag in some states.
And this is just me. I use the Kifaru gun bearer all the time. Damn, that 5-rounder digs into me all the time. So that's the reason I hate them.
So Kinport Peak Rifles in Idaho, he'll shorten it for you, but I think he charges $100, and then it's $100 for the mag.
Yep.
So you're in it a little bit there, but it's still a great option.
It isn't, and I would imagine somebody's going to get off their asses and make some 3-rounders.
Maybe.
Because Tikkas are not getting less popular.
Yeah.
So
every Tikka rifle build that we sell is going to come with a Tikka suck sticker.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, definitely.
And you have to put it on the gun.
You do. It's part of it's the fucking it's in the fucking rules.
$10, get it Cerakoted onto the stock.
Hey, we talked about doing that Cerakoted somewhere on each stock, but
what does our fearless gunsmith call it? Tikka?
Yeah, no, he's calling it Tikka.
Yep.
That's a new sticker.
Tikka. All right. If we can't leave without talking about rings.
Oh shit.
Because I keep getting hit up. So this is coming out July 4th. So what is the latest and greatest on your UM rings and the Tikka rings?
Yeah. So the week of July 4th, the retail packaging will finally be back. We're actually driving over there today to approve the final print. But hinged rings that we actually put up for pre-order way back on Black Friday, believe it or not. Now, unfortunately, this is not because we decided we wanted to take a fucking long time to do this. It was because we went through 7 revisions before I was happy with them.
Right.
So because of that, those are going to be shipping when you hear this podcast, either that week of July 4th or the following week. The following week after July 4th is when the Tikka rings will ship if you've pre-ordered those. The pre-order price will unfortunately expire at the end of June, which only gives you one more day. So if you wait until you heard this, then you're going to have the $130 price. We also have the Tikka level that also clamps to the Tikka dovetail without a Picatinny rail. And then we're going to have the same version of the level in Picatinny. But fear not, all the rings will be shipping when you're listening to this within a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's not like you pulled a fast one on them. They're not going to deliver. To me, you've been pretty honest with the people. You wanted to get that hinged ring right.
We learned a lot of hard fucking lessons. Now, we're very new to the manufacturing game. We're very new to the scope ring game and all that good shit. And we did a lot of it was the testing that identified all these issues prior to. So you're going to be happier with the rings that you get. But there's a reason why people don't do that hinge style a lot. We made the Tikka rings 1 revision and we got it right. 1 fucking revision, but 7 revisions on the hinge rings. And really had to do with, like, once you've clamped both of those hinge rings onto the rail, I didn't want any type of cam over action when you're closing the lids before you torque them down. We did big gun shooting, big magnum, so it had to hold a 33XC.
We dropped the 33XC.
Dropped it. We did everything that we could to make sure you're getting the best product possible, and we're happy with it. So we did learn a lot of lessons. We definitely won't do any fucking pre-orders until I'm further along in the manufacturing process now. But the way the fucking long-range world is now, guys, like as soon as you decide you want to do something, somebody else was already doing it or already in the process of doing it. So everybody rushes to announce something. And like the Tikka rings, like once we decided it, there could have been any number of people doing Tikka rings. We just talked about what other products we might do. And somebody said, well, why don't we make reloading dies? Well, I know of at least 5 companies right now all working on fucking dies at the same time. All of them. It's like the market is growing so fast. Everybody's rushing to get new products out. We're just trying to make good stuff for hunters, believe it or not. We're not marketing to the competition world or anything else. We're hunters. We have hunters in mind, and we're trying to, like the XL versions of our bottom metal and mag, that's something that was never in the market before. Tikka rings that clamp on the dovetail, there was an option that's not available anymore. So that was Ryan's passion.
Well, we're not in the market to go rip people off.
No.
So we're trying to make stuff that people will use that's not out there.
Yeah.
That's not on the market.
Anybody can just copy everybody else's shit in a big circle.
Yeah, like the fucking Jimmy. I mean, the people just copy shit and they write it off as their own.
Yeah.
And that's irritating. Like, why didn't we have a fucking 4-inch box magazine? Why?
Yeah.
Well, Jake came along and made it. Why did Tikka not? Nobody wanted. There's so many Tikkas in America. Why do we not have rings that go right onto their rail?
And it's big. I didn't realize it, but it's huge in the air gun world. All the air guns, which they shoot little pellets, I guess. All the air guns have the same. Basically, our rings will fit a 16 or a 17 millimeter dovetail. So almost all the air guns have the same integrated rail on the top of their air guns, and they can use those same scope rings. So we're actually getting those sold to some of those guys too. Yep.
Anything else? Anything else? You got any parting shots there, Big Red?
Give us some words of wisdom, Mason. Maybe your best joke.
You got a joke?
Why didn't the toilet paper cross the road? Because it got stuck in a crack.
And that's
the end of the story. If you need to get a hold of us at podcast@shoottohunt.com or find us on Instagram @shoottohunt.
And subscribe to that YouTube so you don't miss fucking hunt videos.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Our YouTube channel. Go subscribe.
Yes, that's going to drop on Tuesday, and it's a badass video. It's definitely going to be worth a watch.
And you'll see a lot more videos coming after this fall.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Thanks.